Well, if I'm a writer today, it's because of my local library.
As soon as I get to a library, I'm in a really happy place.
These days, libraries are doing so much more than just giving people books to read.
Libraries are very underfunded, but a huge resource for local communities.
Libraries are one of our few remaining truly democratic structures. They're open to everybody, regardless of your background, your creed, your colour, or your financial status.
SWRLS is the South West Regional Library Service, a network of libraries across sectors, so not just public libraries, but university and college libraries, health libraries.
SWRLS got this funding from Arts Council to diversify the type of authors that libraries see in their spaces, to introduce South West communities to more diverse writers, people that they might not have heard of, or stories that they might not have read before.
I think it's so important that we make the effort to bring readers and writers together, particularly in library spaces.
It's introduced me to Azim's work. I've been reading some of his books and find them really fascinating, especially with all this sort of the social history of India that's woven into them as well.
It turns out that Charles Chaplin, the movie star, was a huge fan of Gandhi and used to write to him in America begging for an audience. And Gandhi had no clue who Chaplin was.
I'm a really character-driven writer. I think characters are hugely important. So we were talking about how to build a character, and it was great. We were sort of giving names, giving attributes, worked out whether their ketchup stayed in the fridge or the cupboard. The sort of detail that a writer really needs to know.
We managed to cover about 300 years of history in 40 minutes, which is pretty good going, I reckon.
Having the author there is something different, and you do pick up information that you would never have imagined.
I just find I learn so much by reading books by authors who come from different places to me.
And she brings it to life, really, how she came up with the ideas, how she fleshed out the characters, how she kept the plot strands all moving.
This morning we had a Novel Writing 101 workshop, and people who came all went home really inspired by what they'd heard. And I met 3 of them in the library after the event who said they thought they might become a little writers group themselves as a result of that workshop.
For me as a writer, it's inspiring. For me as a reader, it's inspiring. And as a bookseller, it is going to make me not just better at my job, but even more excited to do it.
After a decade of writing, I still enjoy going out and meeting readers and having a discussion and a conversation about some of the topics that I raise in my novels.
I actually think books are a great way of unifying people. I think they're a great way of showing that melanin is not a character trait, it's just a colour thing.
I wonder which authors you'd recommend to us from a Nigerian background and from a BAME background.
I think what's really wonderful is I'm going to go back to the shop with a big stack of signed copies, and I'm going to be able to share something so much more than just a bunch of pages in a binding. It's about the person that's inside of that book.
We were all saying, oh, I wish she was our friend, you know, you just feel you get to know her so well.
Talking to other people and finding out what they're reading and what they're enjoying is also really good. So I'm hoping to pick up some book tips today.